Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina and this is my weekly wrap up. And when I looked at the books that I finished this week, I was just absolutely flabbergasted because I only finished 3 books this week, and that's not normal for me. But it was my son's birthday this week, and this is Thursday, and I normally would I would do this on a Friday, and I'd probably have one more night and then day to finish a book. But tomorrow we're going to be busy all day, so I figured I needed to go ahead and get this out for Saturday. So I only read 3 books. The first one is called The Cottage. It's by Lisa Stone. This is an author that's new to me. I gave it 4 stars. Let me read the book description for you. An isolated cottage. After losing her job and boyfriend, Jan Hamlin is in desperate need of a fresh start. So she jumps at the chance to rent a secluded cottage on the edge of Coleshaw Woods. A tap at the window. Very quickly, though, things take a dark turn. At night, Jan hears strange noises and faint taps at the window. Something or someone is out there. A forest that hides many secrets. Jan refuses to be scared off, but whoever is outside isn't going away, and it soon becomes clear that the nightmare is only just beginning. So, this book was like, it's 2 parts to it. It was creepy and mysterious in the beginning because this woman is out in the middle of nowhere and she hears tapping and noises every single night around the same time at about 8 o'clock. And the dog, so she is leasing this house from someone, and the person is overseas working, and so her dog is part of the lease as well. So the dog barks and loses mind. So it's not just in this woman's mind. So we know that it's not crazy, supernatural, or anything like that, because the dog freaks out too. And then she starts to try to talk to people in the town, and she likes the guy who's kind of the fixer-up guy who has the key and who she gets in contact with if something's wrong with the apartment. They all kind of act weird whenever she brings up what's going on. So while the ending is not supernatural, it's still very unrealistic. But we don't come to these books for realism. I mean, if I want realism, I'm going to read a nonfiction book. So it was very enjoyable. It kept my attention all the way through. And so this got 4 stars out of me. And so then I immediately went to find another book by her, Lisa Stone. I don't know if I said that first. Lisa Stone. And this book is called The Doctor. Let me read you the description for this. How much do you know about the couple next door? When Emily and Ben move in next door to Dr. Berman and his wife Anita, they are keen to get to know their new neighbors. Outgoing and sociable, Emily tries to befriend the doctor's wife, but Anita is strangely subdued, barely leaving the house and terrified of answering the phone. When Emily goes missing a few weeks later, Ben is plunged into panic. His wife has left him a note, but can she really have abandoned him for another man? Or has Emily's curiosity about the couple next door led her straight into danger? Now, I really can't tell you why this book got 2 stars, whereas the last one got 4. I just didn't enjoy the story. We're in the head of the bad guy the whole time, so maybe that was less enjoyable. Being outside of the situation and kind of trying to figure out what's going on with the character in a mystery, in a spooky mystery, is fun, and that's what the first book was. But what The Cottage was. But The Doctor, we're in the bad guy's brain. That's not so fun. He was misogynistic and I don't know what the right word is, but I don't know if there's a word, like, we have racist, sexist, misogynist, maybe ableist, but that word doesn't seem as strong enough for what this man was. He was disgusted by people who weren't perfect, and it was really horrible to spend, I don't know how many pages was in here, 390 pages in his mind, and then the end, there was a twist, but it wasn't enough to save the bad taste that I had in my mouth from this book. It just wasn't fun. Okay, so this next book, I gave it 2 stars, but maybe I need to give it 2.5, based on Goodreads 5-star system, so it's right down the middle, because I equally hated, and hate is too strong. I equally was bored and enjoyed this book. So let me tell you what it is, and then we'll talk. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right, that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there is certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane, dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's day when she needed it most. August's subway crush soon becomes the best part of her day. But pretty soon, she discovers there's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s. And August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help her. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all. So what I liked about the book is, first of all, this is a wonderful sapphic story. And I know a lot of people have been complaining about the fact that there aren't lesbian stories out there. I've been hearing that complaint a lot. The cast of characters were very diverse. The main character, Jane, is Chinese. There's a Mexican roommate. All of their roommates are just funny. It's found family, so I love that. They're funny and wacky. One of their roommates is a drag queen, and one guy is a psychic, and so I liked those things. But there was just long portions of the story that were just boring, and I'm like, how can you take this kind of story where there's a woman on a train, stuck on the train, stuck in time, and her loop, it wasn't a loop, like she wasn't aware of it, like she remembered August. Whenever August would get on a train, they would talk, they built the relationship, they became lovers. So it was kind of like, it's not even like Groundhog's Day. So it's totally, in my opinion, unique in that sense, because it's a time thing, but it's not Groundhog's Day and it's not time travel. So I don't even know what to call it. So how do you take something that unique, something queer, wacky characters, found family, and make it boring? They had lots of, the couple had sex, really good sex scenes, but so I don't know what was missing. And there was just long stretches of boring dialogue or boring plot. I think that the author, she depended on Jane being interesting just because she was out of time, and so all of these things, all the accoutrement of being out of time was enough to make her interesting. So the fact that she didn't know about Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff, the fact that her musical knowledge stops in the 70s, the fact that she's butch, and so she wears a leather and she kind of talks tough to sweet virginal. August is a virgin at the beginning of this, and she's sweet and perfect, and so it seems like she depended a little bit too much on stereotypes, maybe. Like there needed to be a little bit more to the characters. But again, I feel weird saying that because there was so much talking, there was so much going on, and it's just like, how is this boring? How is this a chore to get through? So I don't know how to explain that. I would love to have a conversation with you guys if you've read the book, if you feel the same way as me but can word it better, or if you feel differently than me, tell me why I'm wrong. Whew, I'm kind of happy that I had a short wrap up this week, because I have to turn off everything so that my sound is better, and I'm instantly sweating. So let's see, let's do a train for the end of the video emoji if you don't have anything to say. But really, honestly, if you've read this book, especially One Last Stop, I would like to talk about how the book was constructed, or maybe I just felt maybe the filler to me was meaningful to you. Be easy on yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.